Okay, it's Sunday, which means against my better judgment, it's time to go to Reddit and see what we can find in this hive of scum and villainy. So I've been to the Overwatch University subreddit ahead of time and just scraped all the questions out the first couple of pages, and we're gonna answer them now while some footage of Overwatch plays in the background. This was footage from the games I played on stream earlier today, so have fun watching that. So, first off though, over in the Discord, how would you feel about Bastion getting the following rework? I'm so sorry, future me, you lazy sack of shit, but you're going to have to actually edit some pictures into the video because I'm not going to read out the whole damn thing. And just, you know, pause and look at it, I guess. So, I don't like it, at all, really. So, my main issue is that it's mostly just takes everything and the kitchen sink approach to this situation of changing Bastion, right? Like, Torbjorn and Symmetra I consider to be extremely good reworks, right? Because they're fundamentally the exact same hero, they changed very little, and what they did change was impactful enough to make the hero good again, right? Like, Symmetra, what did they do? They moved her ult to her E. You know, it was one of the worst, it was like one of the worst ults in the entire game, so we'll just make that a basic ability. Left click no longer locks on, but it's stronger. Less turrets, but the turrets are stronger. And that's like basically it. Really? Like, you know, and then it took them a couple of times to get this one right, because Symmetra's first rework was quite terrible. What if we gave her another ultimate that is also bad? Yes, and Torbjorn, you know, changed his ult, made his turret easier to throw down. You know, that's kinda it. Change E, you know. No more armor pack, now Torbjorn just gets buff, right? He fundamentally didn't really change a whole lot, but it was good enough. Meanwhile, over here, it's like, Configuration Sentry has like 12 fucking points on it, right? Like, I don't have issue with all of it. Like, general, gold weapon now makes tank barrel gold. I didn't know it didn't do that already. Yeah, it should do that. That's wild. Like, I just don't... It's just got a bunch of shit in here that doesn't make any sense. Like, configuration recon. Bastion while in recon can see enemies as an outline through walls for 1.5 seconds after leaving Bastion's line of sight. Why? Why? Why are we giving the turret man a sniper ability? It doesn't make any sense. I don't see how that fits in with Bastion, like, concept-wise at all. I don't see why he needs to have that kind of functionality. The changes to the gun kind of just, to me, is like, yeah, let's make it a little bit more like Soldier's gun, which they already did. Bastion in Sentry form should absolutely not be allowed to crit under any circumstances. Like, no. He already does plenty of damage in turret form. I don't really have issue with the idea of changing it to heat rather than ammunition. I think that's fine enough. Like, it's a turret. We've played enough video games where the turret was heat-based rather than ammunition-based, so I don't really have a problem with that. But it absolutely should not have to be able to crit at all. Terrible. Don't like that at all. Moving the tank to the E. I don't like doing this just because, like, I didn't have an issue with Symmetra's moving her ult to the E because her ult was very bad. Tank is, like, not great, but it's also not the same level as Symmetra's old ultimate, right? Like, it's not the teleporter. Like, I don't think Tank you can justify being a basic ability. I think if you're gonna have configuration Tank remain in there, Tank needs to be the ultimate. It just needs to be different somehow. Like, I don't think you can justify moving that to the E. Its effect is too strong. And, like, I don't like the damage. It's like, okay, so 125 damage with a direct hit, splash damage 55. The way this game works is it combines both of those stats, right? Like, you take direct hit from Farah's rocket and then splash damage from Farah's rocket as well. So it's like, alright, 125 plus 55 damage on a direct hit. Oh, so I basically killed, like, everybody, right? Like, I'm killing those people real fucking good still, aren't I? Like, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like Tank being a basic ability. And the ult is fucking absurd, brother. Like, it's fucking absurd. 8 seconds of crowd control immunity is out of fucking control. That's beyond ridiculous for a hero like Bastion. Like, if you can't crowd control Bastion, and he's extra tank, like, this is just like, and now I will kill them all. Yes. So, Bastion, buckle down over there, brother. Overclock, nano boost, crit on fucking turret form shots. Oh, so it just kills the entire fucking team, like, no questions asked, and there's literally nothing they can do except run away, because they can't kill Bastion, he's too tanky. They can't crowd control Bastion because he's immune for 8 seconds. It's absurd. The ult is beyond absurd. It's too much. A hero like Bastion cannot be allowed to have crowd control immunity. No. I don't like it. I don't like it for the multitude of reasons. I think that if you're gonna work on a rework for Bastion, like, if you're gonna make changes this grand and sweeping, we're talking, like, at this point, like, just rework him into a tank and move his category. Because, like, this rework is absurdly large. If you're gonna try and rework Bastion, try and keep it simpler than this. You know, try and keep it to things that are, like, align with his hero concept. Like, wall hacks does not align with Bastion's hero concept particularly. That's just kind of like recon form is only gun? Why is it only gun? Give it something else. Wall hacks. It can just be gun. That's okay. He's got 2 other forms where he can do other stuff. His recon form can just be gun. No. Sorry to, basically shit all over it, but no, I really don't like most aspects of this rework. Very sorry. I give it, like, a C- at best. So, next up is, as a wigman, do you have any particular wigs you are fond of? What sort of wigs or characters would you be interested in acquiring in the future? And why is there no wig emoji? That's an excellent question. I don't know why there's no wig emoji. You know, on Twitch, we have a potato wearing a wig, so that's nice, but that's about the closest we got. I don't know, like, I guess Ash would be kind of cool, you know? I got this Somber wig, I was very disappointed in that. I felt like Somber would have been a good one, but that wig's actually quite bad. Yeah, like Ash is the only one I can really think of offhand. I think Ash would be cool. So now going over to Reddit. What can I do to contest a Widowmaker as a support? So, you don't exactly get a lot of options. So you can play Lucio and try and kill the Widowmaker if you want. This is mostly going to be map dependent more than anything else, to be honest with you. Because you can't just go straight at the Widowmaker, you need some way to, like, get around and surprise her. But you're hard to hit, you can get up on her and harass her, you know, that's all good times. You can play Bridget. Bridget's not going to get to contest the Widowmaker, really. The cool thing about it is just that she is healthier than other supports are, which makes it harder for you to get insta-killed. Because you've got more health and you've got a shield. And you can give other people armor, which makes it harder for them to get insta-killed as well. So this, you know, you're not really contesting the Widowmaker, strictly speaking. You're making it easier for the other people to contest Widowmaker. This is a lot of what you do when you're playing support, trying to contest Widowmaker, really. Lucio is your most proactive option that you can take, really. The rest are about making it easier for the people that actually can contest Widowmaker to do something. Because, like, people like to try and do, like, Zen Anna into Widowmaker. Terrible idea. Please don't do that. You are massively not favored in that matchup. Please do not do that. So you can play Bridget and be tanky and make other people tanky. Harder to kill. You can play Baptiste and use the Immortality Field. You can't get one shot if you're using the Immortality Field, so you can try and shoot at her, and it makes it easier for your long-range boys to also contest Widowmaker. And you can play Mercy and damage boost your own snipers. And res them if they happen to fuck up. Or anybody that gets picked off, assuming they died in a reasonable position, you can res them, of course. You can damage boost your snipers, and that makes it easier. Like, Ashe cannot naturally contest Widowmaker that easily, because she needs to shoot her twice, whereas Widow only needs to shoot her once. But if you damage boost Widowmaker, or damage boost Ashe, hey, now she can one-shot Widowmaker right back, right? You make it significantly easier for people to contest them. Hanzo's already, like, pretty good at contesting them, and then you damage boost the arrows, hey, even better, brother. So that's, those are about the options you get for contesting Widowmaker, and most of them are not really about you killing Widowmaker, because it's not particularly feasible. Widowmaker is favored in all matchups that you can, like, take a fight to her to any degree. So it's best avoided, and you just try and, like, flank Revolucio if you can, and just, like, support your, other teammates with the people that make it easier for them to contest Widowmaker. Next up, what constitutes good performance for performance-based SR? So this is one of those things that I've seen people asking about a lot lately. You know, this seems to be the current, like, there's like two things people fixate on a lot. One of them is placement matches, where they're always surprised they get placed within like 200 SR of what they were the previous season for some reason. And then they're like, alright, so this performance-based SR, how can I try and like take advantage of this somehow? Like, real talk, the performance-based SR system, you're not gonna notice the difference most of the time. You are gonna, like, if you have a really good game and the system takes notice of that, what's gonna happen is it's gonna give you, like, 3 more SR than you normally would. Or you're gonna lose, like, 3 more SR than you normally would if you did a really bad game, right? Like, it's not going to make a massive difference. We're like talking like you're going to see 20, 25 SR gain loss on average. The system is not going to make a huge difference. If you are seeing like dramatic SR differences at the end of the game, then that's more likely because your MMR is weird compared to where you are currently, so the system is trying to get your MMR and SR into alignment again. That's more likely to be why you're seeing big shifts one way or another. Your MMR is incongruent with your SR. But, like, so the way it works is that it takes your stats at the end of the game and then compares them to other people playing that hero in your SR, roughly, right? So if you're playing Moira, it's only comparing you to other Moiras in your general SR, and then it compares your stats and goes, is this good, is this bad? And then it adjusts. But it's like, not a huge adjustment that you're going to see. If you're seeing huge adjustments, it's more likely your MMR than your SR. Don't fixate on these weird things so much. So next up, is it just me, or is blocking/avoiding shatters much easier when you're not playing Reinhardt? Basically saying, like, it seems really hard to react to the other Reinhardt using Earth Shatter as Reinhardt, but it's easier when you're playing, like, Zarya or Moira to block it or dodge it. And so I think the main thing with that is just, like, proximity to the other Reinhardt player a lot of the time, because Earth Shatter does have a travel time. And if you're playing Reinhardt, you're probably really fucking close to the other Reinhardt, so you have less time on average to react than anybody else does. Moira's usually, like, pretty close to the back, so you're gonna have more time to react to it than anybody else. As far as, like, Zarya is gonna still be pretty close, of course, but the bubble deploys instantly, whereas Reinhardt's shield does not actually deploy immediately. This is why you can be, like, seeing your camera pan back, but you still get, because you're putting your shield up, but you still got Earth Shattered. Some of that's also probably latency at the same time. So, like, you know, there's a proximity thing to it, and then there's also a fact that Reinhardt's shield isn't as immediate as an ability like Fade or Bubble is. So, you know, I think it's proximity more than anything else, though. Like, Rein is, like, right fucking there. Yeah, he is right in front of my face. Moira, all the way back there, has got, like, an extra half a second to react to it and push Fade. You know. I think that's the main difference, really. Though I do agree, it is easy. I do agree, it is easier to do these things when you're not playing Rhyme. But those are the reasons, I think. Part of it could also just be psychological, I suppose. You know, if you make that kind of connection in your head, where, oh, it's easier to do this on certain characters, then, you know, at a certain point it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, that's also probably part of it, but that's what I think. So, next up is, what are the ideal damage to heal ratios? I mean, there isn't one. because it all depends on the game. There's no magic number that you should be striving to achieve for maximum SR gains, right? It varies so much. I have had games where I've played Moira and won where I've healed like 4k, which is absurdly low for Moira in an average game. But in those games, like, their team's playing real bad, my team's playing real good, so not much damage is really coming out, and Bridget's healing most of it or some shit like that, right? It's not, you can't just, like, do it on, like, a hero basis, because, like, every game is going to be dramatically different. There are going to be a lot of games where you can spend a lot of time doing damage, so then your damage ratio is going to be way higher than your healing ratio, and then there's going to be games where you have to do the reverse of that, right? Like, it varies so much. Especially for certain heroes, like Ana, your how much healing you do versus how much damage you do in a game can fluctuate really highly, depending on a lot of things, like what your team's doing. Like, if you're playing Ana and the other healer's like Moira, you have to spend more time shooting at the bad men and throwing your grenades at the bad men, so you're going to do more damage than healing. You might even be having to contest a pharmacy, in which case it's expected that your damage ratio is going to skew more towards doing damage at that point, because you sort of have an obligation to try and kill that pharmacy as well. There's no magic number here for this one. You have to take it on a game-by-game basis. I will say that on average, when I'm playing Moira, my damage and healing are usually roughly pretty close to each other in terms of ratio. Like, it's not actually 50-50 most of the time, but it's usually like 60-40, you know? Like, they're usually pretty close. But there's no magic ratio here. It's, like, not worth worrying about this kind of thing. Like, people get really bogged down in these kind of stats, where they're like, what weapon accuracy should I be striving to achieve on my Soldier 76? It fluctuates really heavily from game to game. You need to take it on a game-by-game basis, because the game will tell you, right? Like, how much time did I spend having to heal? Well, if I had to spend a lot of time healing, the correct ratio was probably more in the healing than the damage category, because my team's fucking bad, you know. There's no magic number here, I'm sorry. Next up, is it more important to have good reaction time or be better at prediction? This was also mostly talking about Reinhardt, but, like, is something you can say for other people as well. So anything that looks like a reaction is also still partly prediction at the same time. It is very hard to react to a lot of things that you need to react to, right? Like, Earth Shatter happens really fast. You don't get a lot of time to react most of the time, right? So most of the Earth Shatter reaction is also prediction. Like, you can just react to it by itself, but it becomes a lot easier when you're, like, tracking his ultimate, or, like, watching how he's positioning, because if he's suddenly playing more aggressively, he's trying to Earth Shatter. If you're anticipating that something is going to happen, it's a lot easier to react to it. Because, of course, even if you're predicting it, you still don't know exactly when he's going to do it. You know, even when you're predicting something, there's still reaction involved in it. All you know is, like, when you're predicting an Earth Shatter, all you're thinking is, he's trying to Earth Shatter sometime, right? Like, he's trying to Earth Shatter right now. When he Earth Shatters is still a mystery, right? You're reacting to when he actually does it, but you're anticipating it, which makes it easier to react to it. As opposed to just, like, you know, watching a fucking YouTube video over here in the other monitor, not thinking about it. Oh, fuck, I heard Hammer Down starting, right? Like, that's a lot harder to react to, because you're not anticipating it. This is true of, like, a lot of things. Like, you're playing, like, D.Va, and you're trying to eat other people's ultimates, right? It's a lot easier if you predict it. Grava happens quite quickly. It's a lot easier when you're predicting that the Zarya is trying to use Graviton right now, right? And then this is also true in other video games as well. If you're playing a fighting game, right, people think fighting games are really reaction-based, and they are, of course, reaction-based, but there's also a lot of prediction in there, because there's also, like, you try and keep in mind roughly what the other person could do right now, and what you think he's most likely to do based off previous patterns, and then that makes it easier to react to what he's doing, like, huh, okay, well, he just tried to do an overhead, so what's he going to try and do now? He could try and go low, or he could try to grab. Oh, he isn't going low, he's probably grabbing, tech the throw. you know, like, you narrow it down, and then you don't have to react to as many things if you just keep in mind roughly what it's possible for them to do right now. Oh, he's in the air right now because he's trying to jump in. Well, I can't get hit low until he's on the ground, and he can't throw me because he's in the air. So there's a very limited number of things I have to react to. Now he's on the ground. Alright, block low, didn't go low. Grab, you know. It's easier when you can think about, like, that kind of stuff. Like, what options do they have right now? So yeah, the answer to the question is it's good to have both. Because anything that is reaction-based, prediction helps, and anything that you're predicting, you still need to react to. Neither of these things is completely binary. Both sides still use the other side at the same time. So there you go. So next up, and this is the last question for this week. It's already the last question. 20 minutes? A bit shorter than usual, I guess. Not by that much. When did people start blaming healers so much? So I liked the thread that this one was attached to. I really liked this one guy's theory on it, which was like, it seems like a lot more people do it now, because now you're in role queue, so the other person can't change off of healer. There used to be a lot of games where 3 people picked DPS, and one guy had to play support on suffrage, right? So if you started shit-talking that support, there was a pretty good chance you were just going to have a Torbjorn on your team in the near future instead of a healer. So people were less likely to shit-talk healers and tanks back then because they knew they needed them to keep playing those roles. So if they started shit-talking the person when they're already playing something they don't want to, why wouldn't they change? I really liked that theory. I liked that one a lot. It makes a lot more sense to start shit-talking healers when you know they have to keep playing a healer. In reality, so I mean, that's probably part of it, to be fair. What I think is that there have been... the last couple of metas have really benefited people that don't know how to position, particularly tank players, right? Because I find it's usually tanks shit-talking supports more than DPS, but obviously DPS shit-talk everyone, tanks shit-talk... everybody shit-talks everybody, but I have observed tanks shit-talk healers more. Most tank players don't know how to position, and the previous couple of metagames were based around Baptiste or Moira. Both of whom can, like, really cover your mistakes quite a lot. Because Moira can just, like, brute force heal a tank through a bad situation. Ryan fucked up and he's doing something pretty bad. That's okay. I'm outputting a lot of fucking healing right now. Oh, Bastion, Reinhardt's doing some stupid shit. I throw the lamp at him and he doesn't die, right? And that was what we did, like, pretty much non-stop a lot. And that really benefited people that don't know how to position. Currently, the metagame is more shifted back towards Ana, who is not as good at brute forcing you through that kind of situation. So, more people have started suffering as a result. There's also this thing where, like, that's been the metagame, so when you encounter a situation that goes against that metagame, people don't know what to do, right? So, if you've been used to playing with the Moira Baptistes, who just brute force, you might still be playing with right now, who just brute force you through a situation, and then your teammates pick Ana Mercy, you're way less likely to get brute force through, like, Mercy Bridget, Mercy Lucio. Those are pretty common team comps you'll see. They are not gonna save you from your own fuck-ups, right? So, and then what does this tank player see in their mind, right? They see themselves doing the same thing they've done previously, but now they're dying for it. Well, they're doing the same thing they always did before, but now it isn't working when it did work previously. Huh, I don't understand. It must be some kind of outside factor that changed this outcome then. What's the outside factor? The healers didn't heal me enough. It can't be the fucking DPS. They're not healing me. It has to be the healer, right? Because That's what all the tank player sees in their mind, is that they are doing the same thing they always did, but it's not working in this game when it has worked in a game previously. Why is that? Must be the healers. What else could it possibly be? And so they start shit-talking the healers, right? That's what happens. Tank players in general have this problem where they're really bad at observing things around them, where they will see their whole team going off the opposite direction to them, but they will continue on their path by themselves and do it anyway and then die because they won in 1v6. But all the tank player sees in his mind is that he initiated a fight and his teammates didn't follow up on it. Is that actually what happened? No, he went off on his own and didn't follow his team, who went off on their own doing their thing, and then he went off doing his own thing. So of course he died, he was doing his own thing, 1v6. But he doesn't see it that way. He's like, I'm playing tank, I initiated fight, my teammates were not with me, my teammates are bad because they didn't follow up on my initiation. That's all the tank player sees in his mind. It's the same thing with the supports. Well, fucking Moira healed me through this, Mercy isn't healing me through it, the healer, Mercy must be bad. Fucking Mercy, god damn. This is why I'm in elo hell. And that's how it goes. So I think it's that, and then partly the other guy's theory on the matter as well. Yeah, I think it's some combination of those two aspects, basically. And then obviously there's just the other thing where, like, people just take a really simple approach to things, where they're like, this is why DPS players get bullied a lot, right? Well, my team's dead, and their team's not dead. If their team's not dead, that must mean we didn't do enough damage, and they did do enough damage, because our team's dead and their team's not dead. How do you kill a team? You kill the team by doing damage. Clearly we didn't do enough damage. They did more damage than us, otherwise they would be dead and we would be alive. In reality, we of course know there's more that goes into it than that, right? If the tank is shit-talking the DPS, like, more often than not, it's the tank's fault because he's not playing like a tank. You know? It can be the DPS's fault, of course, but, like, a lot of the times when the tank is shit-talking the DPS, the tank is also playing badly, but the DPS can't do damage because they haven't got breathing room. But, you know, people take a simplistic approach to these things, and then there'll also be situations, of course, where they go, well, why is my team dead and their team's not dead? Well, I'm playing DPS. I've got the gold damage medal. It's only 1.5k 4 minutes in, but nobody has to know that. I've got the gold damage and gold elimination medal. They're woefully low, but that's okay. They're gold medals, and that makes my penis feel big. So, obviously, I'm doing enough damage, right? Because I'm playing DPS. So, it can't be a damage issue now, but my team still died, and their team didn't die. Well, we're doing enough damage because I'm playing DPS. Well, what's the other factor that contributes to keeping your team alive? How much healing was done? Haha. I've solved the fucking Da Vinci Code. Because my team's dead and their team isn't dead, I'm obviously doing enough damage. The only other thing is healing. Oh, thank goodness, it wasn't my fault at all. The healers are just bad. Their team had enough healing and my team didn't. Obviously, because otherwise we'd be alive and they'd be dead. Fucking Mercy. God damn. You know, that's the approach people take to these things. In reality, they're just stupid. But that's okay. There's lots of stupid people out there, particularly people playing Overwatch. I play Overwatch. I know this is true. I'm a very stupid man. Everybody that plays this game is stupid because I'm stupid and I play Overwatch. That means everybody else is stupid because they play Overwatch. You know. I'm a big fan of that website, Spurious Correlations, by the way, as it happens. Lots of good shit on there. So, anyway, that's all I really have to say on the matter, so now we just have to wait for this game to finish. It's gonna be finished real soon, don't you worry. We're gonna try and keep our friend alive here. My friend, he's trying his best down there. I don't want to go down there. It's scary, but Valkyrie's over. Oh god, I don't want to go down. I'm still going to have her out here. Oh god, he's going to C9. I guess I'm going to have to come down now. Jesus Christ. It's okay, they're not looking at me. They haven't noticed. Oh no, somebody's noticed. Oh god, disaster. Terrible news. Okay, they haven't quite noticed again? Alright, they've noticed again. Disaster. Oh no. Oh, Hammond's dead. Oh, Junkrat's in there. Junkrat's dead. Oh, fuck. We lost the game. What a disaster. So there you go. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. More than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I started streaming on Twitch Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 PM EST till 11 EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.